welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome and welcome. In today's video I will be explaining my early pregnancy symptoms, but I was kind of in denial, so I kind of didn't know they were symptoms, so stay tuned and I will see you back after the intro. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and join my channel. Thanks, guys. Okay, so we're back. I have my pen, I have my notes, and we are finna just talk. If you haven't noticed, if you're pregnant now or you inspired to be pregnant, mommy brain comes right after conception. Like, you can never retain information. I mean, that's just for me and what I personally deal with. However, let's get to the point. If you're here, I'm going to be using very technical terms. So for the women, stay tuned. Y'all should know what I'm talking about. If there are males wanting to understand the women's body prior to pregnancy, just because you're keeping an eye out on your partner, then just keep in mind this will be more so geared to the technical terms. So the terms that we will use will be referenced. Okay, so let's hop right into week 1. So for me, week 1 started January the 4th. I counted from the day I conceived until 7 days later, and that's when I started my week 1. So I conceived December the 28th. Nothing really happened between these days, from day 1 to day 7. Well, day 1 to day 8. Nothing really showed me any signs that I was pregnant. I don't know if it's me being first time mom or not being in tune to because I'm not in tune to my body. However, if you're a second time mom, maybe you can catch something because you're just super in tune and you know how you felt when you conceived the first time. However, week 1 and day 4, I did start noticing a difference in my cervical mucus. So as women, we know that there's about 3 to 4 stages of cervical mucus. Prior to going into ovulation, it's more sticky. Post-ovulation is dry. Prior to you gaining your cycle or leaving out of your cycle, it's more fluid. So when you're pregnant, for me, I received a mixture of sticky and fluid, and I just knew like that wasn't the norm for my body. So that kind of made me think like, maybe I'm pregnant. I Googled it and it was like pregnancy, but I was like, can't be pregnant. You know, there's no possible way, because I took a test in December. I wanted to say December the 31st, I took a test and it was definitely negative. So December the 4th, I was like, well, clearly I'm not pregnant. It's just, I don't know what my body's doing because I haven't had a cycle at this point since November, since November, really. I don't know when the last time it was in November, but it was in November. So I was just Googling those symptoms and it did pop out pregnant, but deny number 1. deny. Yeah, so that was me denying my pregnancy at that point. Like, I was definitely pregnant, even though the test told me no. It was just too early, but I was just like, well, why would the test lie to me? But we know the test can lie. Okay, so week number 2. So I was kind of getting a little, funny, like maybe I am pregnant. Maybe I am pregnant. So I did buy a test and I took it, and it did say negative in week 2. So week 2 started at January the 11th for me. So I took a test, and I also set up an appointment with my doctor just to make sure everything was going okay and we were actually able to conceive. Because I know a lot of women will be trying to conceive, but they're not able to, or they need just a little assistance in their estrogen levels. Y'all, these words are gonna be butchered. I mean, mommy brain, okay? And so sometimes I feel like I can't talk, but we're not gonna get sidetracked because I wrote this down and I know what we're gonna talk about. So okay. And so the test was negative. However, I did schedule an appointment for January the 14th to figure it out. We talked about it. We talked about a plan. We came up with a plan. She told me, like, women with irregular cycles is kind of harder for them to conceive than women with normal cycles because they're able to track those ovulation dates like clockwork. So for me, it was harder because at this point, like I said, I didn't have a cycle since November, and for the whole year, I've only had about 5 to 6 cycles. So out of a 12 cycle periods, out of a year, I've only had half of those. So it was kind of hard for me to tell, like, okay, am I actually ovulating, and is my ovulation even fertile? You know. So we checked that out. We was like, okay, if I haven't conceived by July of 2019, or was it 2020? Yeah, July of 2020, then y'all bear with me, then we were gonna get on fertility pills. And if I haven't had a cycle by February, I was gonna be on some prescription to shed the lining of my uterus, so it can help me regulate, and I won't build up cancer. Because it's a long, like I said, y'all be in tune with your bodies, get your annual checkups, and if you're trying to get pregnant, just talk to your doctor, because the last thing you want to do is just not know, you know? Okay, so let's talk about week 3. We started really experiencing some things there. So first and foremost, week 3 started January 18th for me. Week 3, in 3 days, I started experiencing enlargement of the cleavage. When I say that, it's not like the typical PMS enlargement where, it's only sensitive in the areolar area, but this enlargement consisted of being tender on the whole entire cleavage area. So it's very, 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 very sensitive, like nothing you've ever experienced before. So if you notice a difference, because you are in tune with your body at this point, if you notice any difference from your prior PMS symptoms to now, the cleavage is a dead giveaway. To me it was, at least to me it was, because I just noticed it was like, this isn't right. However, I was in denial. I was like, okay, my cycle's finna come on, right? And another thing that I experienced in week 3, so week 3 in, I want to say about 4 days, so the next day I broke out in hives, literally from here all the way up here. Like, it was just hives on my face, and I was just like, what's going on? I don't have bad skin. Like, this ain't me. This ain't my skin. What's going on? So I had messaged my sister-in-law, and I was like, hey girl, is it strange that I would have eczema as an adult? Like, I thought you grew up with it, or you had it since day one. Of course I am ignorant. Don't bash me in the comments when it comes to this, because I've never really experienced anything dealing with the skin of that nature. I've always had perfect complexion in my eyes, and whatever, we know it's not gonna go there. But so that was one of my things, and so she was just like, get you some I want to say cortisone. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it was the eczema kind, for the eczema. So I used it for 3 days and went away. So me thinking it's just an allergy breakout. However, I did Google it now. I'm like, can you get eczema as an adult? Google friend. And she was like, girl, you're pregnant. And I'm like, girl, what else does it say? And it was just like, okay, you might have broke out with something. Under pregnancy, it was like, okay, you had a breakout. And I'm just like, oh, well, whatever I did, I don't need to do that no more, So that was definitely exciting for week 3. So the enlargement of the cleavage area and the eczema breakout, something I've never had before. I thought that was pretty, like, well, okay, we're gonna roll with it. So that was my denial number 2. So the first one was in week 1, day 4 of the cervix. The second one was the enlargement of the cleavage area and the tenderness. And then the third one was the eczema breakout. So I was just definitely in denial about all of that. I was just like, okay, I could, but no. I went to the doctor, and the pregnancy test said no too. So okay, so let's just move on to week 4. Week 4 is what I call an enhancement week. So everything that I was experiencing before just enhanced on this week. So the enlargement of the cleavage, it enhanced to me growing in a cup size. So typically, a C for me during PMS will just be full. If I'm not PMSing, it will just be I don't know, like, you know, it's like, you ain't a B, but you fully ain't a C. But during this week, I was like a full D. I was just like, what's going on here? You know, I'm just like, dang. You know, I guess because I haven't had a cycle in a while, this is, you know, the results. This is my consequence or something like that. Another thing I did started experiencing in week 4. I think this was like the entire of week 4. I don't really remember pinpointing a day, so I can't give you that. But the entirety of week 4, I did notice cramping and the heaviness, but it wasn't that sharp cramping that you normally get during PMS and like, okay, your cycle is about to arrive, like you need to go to the bathroom. It was more so that it was very mild and it was very light, but it didn't hurt. Excuse me. I mean, that's another side effect. Excuse me, like, get ready for that during pregnancy because that's all I do. You know, but anyway, so I didn't really, it wasn't hurting, it was just more so pressure, and it was like, hey sis, something is happening down here and I'm gonna need you to check it out. And so I did, but nothing was there because I'm still looking for a cycle. But sis wasn't coming no time soon. Like, I won't see her until next year. Okay, maybe not, I don't know. But so it was just weird. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, I haven't had a cycle in 3 months, so I could probably expect this, you know? Like, I'm talking about I was heavy in denial. Like, something was always like, Sam, you're pregnant. And then went to sis Google, and I said, girl, you know, can you cramp, you know, before PMS and like cramping? I just pretty much typed in exactly how I was feeling, and it just, boop, pregnant. Sis, you pregnant? And I was like, girl, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. We on that plan. So I was just like, okay, whatever, you know, my cycle's gonna come on. So that was my denial number, 4 or 5? I can't really keep up at this point. Week 4, 5 denials. I don't know. And you know, the strange thing about it is that during the month of January, I had like a couple people come up to me and was just like, girl, are you pregnant? And I kind of took offense to it because I'm just like, okay, I'm married, I'm a newlywed, I got my little happy weight going on, let me enjoy my obese life. You know what I'm saying? But that just did not happen. You know, and then when I had made my announcement for their own, someone was like, you know, when you told me no, I was like, she don't even know she's pregnant. And I was like, girl, I surely did not. I didn't know I was pregnant until like month 2. Okay, so week 5 was the all tell, and hey girl, you pregnant and you need to listen, okay? So week 5, day 3 is when I found out I was pregnant, and only by word of mouth, because at this point I'm still waiting on a cycle. I still was experiencing weeks 1 through 4 PMS symptoms in my mind, but they were pregnancy symptoms. And my good friend girl just texted me. She was like, girl, you need to check, because you're pregnant. And I was like, girl, no, that was a dream about you. But you know, it was definitely me. And I got it confirmed 5 weeks and 6 days I was pregnant. Like, this whole time, who knew, you know? And then so, and that was it. Like, everything after that, I just started believing. Like, oh, when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, oh my God, I really was genuinely scared because I thought it was a tumor. Like, how could I be pregnant? I know I wasn't pregnant. I was like, I noticed on Facebook one time that this girl, you know, took a pregnancy test and it was positive. She went to go get it confirmed at the doctor's, but it was a tumor instead. And then there's this movie, I can't really recall it, but I will leave the movie title somewhere over here, that she took a test and it was positive. And when she went to go get it confirmed at her doctor, they was like, you have a cervical cancer and you're at the end of your time. Like, you only got like 3 months. So I'm just like, I'm not pregnant. I'm finna die, you know? So that was just going on in my head. But when my doctor confirmed it, I still didn't believe it until like the next day. So I was exactly 6 weeks when my denial just shut down. I was like, oh, I'm pregnant. God bless, okay? So, and that was pretty much it. So week 6 to 13, I was gonna do videos, but like, I'm telling y'all, the the energy that I did not have. So that's why I just kind of been absent. So week 6 to 13, I wrote some things that I did experience that I'm kind of experiencing now in my second trimester, but I'm really not. So we'll see. So I started, so week 6 through 13, I started to notice that I was losing weight. My appetite was very suppressed, so that could be due to that. I wasn't having morning sickness. I never had morning sickness. I didn't have any typical symptoms that you would get while you're pregnant. So that was weird. Pregnancy bloat. Oh my goodness. It's so real. So in 6 weeks, I was looking like 20 weeks because I would eat like a handful of grapes and stomach would just be sticking, okay? Darken areolas. So if you don't know what that is, please Google it. But I did notice a darkening of that, and I started getting the line from the bottom of my belly, again, excuse me, to the top of my belly button all the way up there towards my cleavage. So I did started seeing a darkening of that as well. Moodiness. I mean, y'all pray for my husband because y'all know we couldn't have. Not really. But mommy brain, that's why I have my notes, because I can't remember anything. If I do remember it, I just can't get it out how I would normally try to get it out. So it's kind of hard for me to talk on a daily basis, especially if I'm passionate about something. Y'all, it's just tough. Fatigue, oh my God, that's why y'all haven't been seeing me so much, because I mean, it's so hard for me to even put myself together and just come in front of the camera and even get through my intro. Like, I'm like, hey guys, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just like, I'm tired. We're gonna rest. You know, sometimes I'll fall asleep and not even know I'm asleep. You know, that's just how tired and real fatigue is. It's nothing like you've ever experienced it before. Like when your eyes start getting heavy and you drive, just go and pull over and take that nap, sis, because you ain't gonna make it home. Lack of motivation. I mean, that just plays in a part of being fatigued all the time. Like I'm not motivated to check off on my schedules, nothing. Like, you know, it's just, I'm not motivated to anything but sleep and care for this unborn child. Okay, that's my motivation. But and then belly growth, that's all that's been, you know, up to date. I have done my 14 weeks, I think 14 or 15 weeks, I can't remember, video. So that should be up soon too, to explain what I'm experiencing on that week and what you should be experiencing if you're not experiencing the same thing I am, or what you could expect, my bad. And we're just going to talk a little bit about that and just some exercises that I've been doing throughout this pregnancy, and just give you a little bit of info each week that's coming up. So if you want to sit back and stay tuned to see what I have to say, yes, because I know we're going to be doing a lot of talking. Y'all know what to do. Subscribe, hit the notification bell button, and we will see you every week from now on, because I'm not fatigued anymore. Thanks, guys.